You've been raped, you are very sick, you are poor, you're not married, and you have 6 children. What do all these have in common? You just found out that you're pregnant. Many people, perhaps some of you in the audience, feel that this is a valid reason to get an abortion. But today I would like you to consider just 3 points in a subject in a world of debate. Is the fetus living? How are abortions performed? And what is God's view? There has been debate after debate questioning the life of the unborn. According to many, the unborn has no rights. In the United States, by a 7-2 ruling in 1993, the U.S. Supreme Court said that the legal personhood does not exist or belong to the premature or prenatal, and the baby is not entitled to any legal protection of his or her life. Until 1973, the unborn child's life even had the ability to sue, inherit, or qualify for Social Security benefits were protected by the law regardless of age. So if the fetus is not a living person, how can such a law be brought about? There are so many websites available to us about abortion. I actually got physically sick when I looked at the pictures of the countless numbers of babies that were aborted. They had eyes, a nose, fingers, and toes that many of your newborn babies have, except for life. Some of their bodies were torn apart. They were just laying there in pieces. And yet we are told that these are not living things. They're not living beings. How can that be? The abortion process varies greatly. But before we go into that, let's see how many abortions are performed. As far back as 1975 and earlier, millions of abortions were performed by the Soviet Union yearly, according to the Population Council funded by the United Nations. Also yearly, 2 million in Japan, 2 million in Brazil, 1,000 in Italy and the United States. Over 15 years ago, a government study showed in India reported that 3.8 million abortions were performed in 1971 alone, or annually. In 1974, the Population Tribune Forum, held in conjunction with the United Nations World Population Conference, said that some countries, half of the pregnancies were aborted, and cited studies that 55 million women had abortions in 1971. So how are some of these abortions performed? Well, we have the suction aspiration, which is a hollow tube with a sharp-edged tube that is inserted into the womb, and the suction is 28 times greater than that of a vacuum cleaner. It shreds the baby and draws it into pieces into a container. This method is used in most babies up to the 12th week. By then, the child is completely formed and sensitive to pain. We have the D&C that's similar, except for the insertion of a tube with a sharp knife that dismembers the baby and scrapes it into pieces through the womb of the mother. Then you have the saline solution. Fluid is drawn out of the sac where the baby is, and a concentrated salt solution is replaced in its place. The baby breathes, hemorrhages, swallows the solution, goes into convulsions, and a few hours later, the baby dies. The mother then, after that, goes into a hard labor, and she delivers either a dead or dying baby. These are just a few of the ways. However, no matter what the methods, the result is still the same: the killing of an innocent unborn. Many of us believe there is a God. Well, how does he view this? How did he view it in Bible times? The Bible makes it clear to God that the unborn developing inside the womb is far more than just a fetal tissue. In fact, God inspired King David to write, "Your eyes saw even the embryo of me, and in your book all its parts were written down." Notice what Exodus 21, 22, and 23 says. "And in case men should struggle with each other, and they really hurt a pregnant woman, and her children do come out, but no fatal accident occurs, He is to have damages imposed upon him without fail according to the owner of the woman may lay upon him, and he must go through the justices. Verse 23, but if a fatal accident should occur, then you must give soul for soul. So it's plain seen here how clear it is that a person would be held accountable for hurting an unborn child. In fact, in many scriptures throughout the Bible, it says that children are an inheritance from God. So how does God view us killing his inheritance? Yes, the fetus is a living being, and abortion methods are cruel and very barbaric. Killing the unborn is a daily practice and should be stopped. And only by each one of us making that decision for the life of our unborn will it be. Most important, if we are Christians, how does God and his son Jesus view our decision to end the life that he has given us? I'd like to end with the diary of an unborn child. October 5th, today my life began. My parents do not know it yet, but I am already. I am to be a girl. I still have blonde hair and blue eyes. Just about everything is settled, though, even the fact that I shall love flowers. October 19th, some say that I'm not a real person yet, that only my mother exists, but I am a real person. Just as a small breadcrumb is still just bread, my mother is, and I am. October 23rd, my mouth is beginning to open now. Just think, in a year or so, I'll be laughing later and talking. I know what my first words will be. Mama, Mama. October 25th. My heart began to beat today all by itself. From now on, it shall gently beat for the rest of my life without ever stopping. After many years, it will tire, it will stop, and then I shall die. November 2nd. I'm growing a bit every day. My arm and legs are beginning to take shape, but I have to wait a long time yet before those little legs will race me to my mother's arms, or before my arms will gather flowers and embrace my father. November 12th. Tiny fingers are beginning to form on my hands. Funny how small they are. I'll be able to stroke my mother's hair with them. November 20th. It wasn't until today that the doctor told my mom and dad that I am living under her heart. Oh, how happy she must be. Are you happy, Mom? December 25th. My mom and dad are probably thinking about a name for me, but they don't even know that I'm a girl yet. I want to be called Kathy. I'm getting so big already. December 10th. My hair is growing. It's smooth and bright and shiny. I wonder what Mom's hair is like. December 13th. I'm just about able to see. It is dark around me. When Mom brings me into the world, it'll be full with sunshine and flowers. But I want more than anything to see my mom. How do you look, Mom? December 24th. I wonder if Mom hears the whispering of my heart. Some children come into the world sick, but I have a healthy heart. It goes thump, 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 thump. You have a healthy little daughter, Mom. December 28th. Today, my mother killed me. So I beg every one of you, if you know somebody that's thinking of an abortion, or you yourself are, remember that the diary of your unborn child will depend upon you. And again, my name is Darlene Hoffman, and I attend Thomas University.